Oh, shoot. I have that plan there. All right. Morning. Well, it's morning here. Don't know where it is, where you guys are in the world, but it is 10 o'clock here in lovely California. I'm going to have some people arrive here, but just wanted to make sure that everybody is aware that we are a couple of weeks away now from the Dead Last season finale, which is going to be the year-end culmination of all of the worst of the worst. We're going to take the Dead Last movie for every single month and put them up against each other and figure out which one is the dead lastest of all of them. And not for the first time, I did this once in January as well, but this one is open to everybody. So anybody that wants to send in a ranking is completely welcome to do so. I've gotten quite a few rankings so far. Got more than we've ever gotten for a Dead Last. And then tomorrow will be the last day to get them in. So if you do want to participate, I know a lot of people already have, but there's still time if you want to do it up there. I just figured I'd take time out of the morning here to pop on. I don't normally stream, but I thought it might be kind of fun, and also to chit chat for a little bit. So I'll keep an eye over on the chat too to see what it is. And thank you, Paul Tucker. Thank you for watching the channel. We enjoy, and I really enjoy making it. It's a lot of fun. So I appreciate that. But the best part about Dead Last is that Dead Last is the series that allows me to interact with people a lot more and get more feedback from the horror community, because one of the great things about the horror community is that people all like different things. I know that the things that I like in horror movies are not necessarily the things that other people like in horror movies. I love trauma movies, and I know that a wide range of people do not care for trauma whatsoever. And I get that. I understand why people don't like trauma. They're generally bad movies. Some of them are hard to watch, but I get a kick out of them. So I totally understand other people's opinions on things like that. So one of the fun things about Dead Last is that I not only get to see where people rank them, but a lot of times too, when people send in the rankings, they'll give me an explanation of why they ranked them, where they ranked them. And it's always really fun to read because you get to see information about why people like specific movies or what they don't like about other ones. And you get this wide variety of opinions. And that's what's cool about horror. I don't think that's not like that in a lot of other genres. So how's it going? Hi, Scott. How are you? Good morning, everybody. I'll be trying to keep an eye on the chat. So if you guys want to get anything across, just let me know. And if you have anything that you want to see as well too coming up, I want to say a Trauma Dead Last would actually be kind of fun. One of the things that I have to keep in mind when we do a Dead Last episode is that I need to make sure that the movies are readily available to view. So I generally asking people, hey, you guys are going to have to watch all these movies. So they should be things that people don't have to pay an arm and a leg to have to go on and watch. So I try to find things that are pretty easily accessible. And morning, Dan, how's it going? Somebody asked about the Bond series, which maybe will be a fun story because the Bond timeline has now been percolating for a year and a half, because the Bond series was a video that I had planned and then it was gonna come out. What was it? Last April when the new Bond movie came out, and I had it ready to go. I had it all written. Everything was written out. I recorded all my audio. I started to do the edit, and then obviously quarantine lockdown happened. The movie got delayed. And then it kept getting pushed back further and further and further again. So there will be a Bond timeline. It's written, it's done. I just need to record it and edit it and everything like that and do all the stuff for it. So you will see that probably this November when the new movie comes out. It will be a pretty long episode. I think it's over an hour. I think it's like an hour and 15 minutes long. I think is what it's going to be when it comes out, but it's going to be crazy. Brian Finlay requested a John Carpenter movie's Dead Last. That is coming very soon. It's actually that's the planned August episode is a double episode with John Carpenter Orama. So be looking forward to that. I'm excited about the John Carpenter movies. John Carpenter is one of my favorite directors. He's responsible for several of our favorite movies around this house. The Thing, obviously, one of my favorite movies of all time. I happen to be a huge fan of Big Trouble in Little China. It's one of my favorite movies ever. I love it so freaking much. So the majority of John Carpenter movies are excellent. So it's a very hard one to rank and come up with what is there. But that is one that we are doing. The patrons are working on that as we speak. And coming up with the rankings. I actually finished my my rewatch. I finished my rewatch last night. So I rewatched all of the John Carpenter movies that we're including in this. We're not including everything. I'm trying to stick to things that are genre only, that have something to do with either horror or sci-fi. So I'm not including like Elvis and some of the other things that are not very horror-ish, but it's 18 movies in total. A lot of stuff in there. So, and a lot of them are good. A lot of them are really, really good. There's a couple of them that are stinkers, but there's a couple of them that are stinkers that I very much enjoy. So, that'll be pretty cool. I know with the Dead Last, this, the year, every single year is going to be, the season finale is going to be kind of like, hey, this is the worst movies we did. This year is 12. I think going forward, it's only going to be 10. I think I'm going to do 10 months at a time. And then the season finale will be episode 11. And then there might be an off month. We'll see what we're going to do, or might do a special episode that is not about. I might do an episode of Dead Last, which is not specifically movies. I might do one which is, say, a Dead Last on characters. Like, here's all these horror slasher icons. Rate them, rank them. Who's your favorite and who's your least favorite? So I might kind of do that. So we'll see what's happened. The fun thing about Dead Last is that it's such an open playing field of what we can kind of do with it, since we're not just doing series, we're doing also genres, and we're doing like themes and kind of things like that. So there's just a lot we can do. There's several ones we've already done that I'm dying to do a second part to. I want to do. There's definitely going to be a Stephen King part 2 coming up at some point in the near future. I want to do more of the horror anthologies. Volume 2 to all of that stuff. So there will be more out there. I would love to do a little monster one, like rank gremlins and ghoulies and critters and all that kind of stuff. Would be kind of fun. And Matt Germain has nominated Zombie 90 Extreme Pestilence as the worst movie he's ever seen. And I have not seen that yet. I have read enough about it, and I've been avoiding that one. But I actually have a few more contenders for the worst movie ever seen. Actually, one of the worst movies I've ever seen is coming up in a list in the next couple of weeks. So easily one of the worst things, just in terms of quality. But in terms of hard to get through things, I don't know if anything is ever going to top Human Centipede 3 for me in terms of being like a movie that I just had a hard time getting through. So we'll see. We'll see what that is. Carl Sagan, I have done Trancers. It's in Sci-Fi Timelines. I did that a while ago because Trancers, if you haven't seen the first Trancer movie, it is a classic. It's a great flick. Trancers 2 is also really cool. Trancers 3 it's all right, and everything after that you can kind of skip. But the first two Trancers are definitely worth watching. Very, very cool. So, and yeah, there's just a lot of things that are really coming. I think the kind of fun thing is that I've been trying to expand the channel into different things and some kind of different realms. I know that the lists seem to be something that people like a lot. I did not expect. There's some behind the scenes thing. I did a video about 2 months ago, which I thought was just kind of fun. I did a 2-part Jaws ripoffs with sharks, Jaws ripoffs without sharks. And the Jaws ripoff without sharks video, for some reason, is now my 3rd highest viewed video of all time. I would not have guessed that in particular was a concept that people were excited about. So I don't know. I don't. Sometimes things just become popular that you're not expecting. So KH says, loving the monster fight series. It's been super fun to watch, and I thank you for that because I have to admit that it is so far not catching the world on fire. I'm a little bit bummed out with the response to Monster Brawl. But I have such a good time making it. It is probably one of my most fun things to do. I have shot the remainder of them. There's going to be 8 episodes in total. 8 episodes complete and done. They're all filmed now. I've started editing them, so they'll be up pretty shortly, and it'll be a lot of fun. So Sarah wants to know what are the first 2. My most popular video ever is the Final Destination timeline, which a few years back somebody posted it to Reddit, and it made the front page of Reddit, and it got a ton of views, and it got a big chunk of subscribers on that particular day, and that became my #1 most watched video of all time. The second most popular video of all time is just the original Friday the 13th timeline, my very first ever video. That is my second most popular video ever, and now it's this Jaws ripoffs without any sharks in them is now the most popular thing ever. But so yeah, again, I don't know what it is. I do think it's oh no, excuse me, I completely screwed that up. No, my second most popular video of all time is the unanswered questions on The Thing, the first episode. That's what it is. That's what it is. And because that's what I thought was interesting is my top 3 videos of all time are all 3 different genres. Like #1 is a timeline, #2 is an unanswered question video, and #3 is a list. So the only one I don't have up in that top point there is a Dead Last episode, and they're working their way up there. So that's pretty cool. To Carl also saying that Ghostbusters would be good. That is another timeline that has been pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. Brief story: I actually filmed something for a Ghostbusters timeline. Not in Halloween of 2019. I filmed something for the Ghostbusters timeline, and I was in front of a gigantic building that had a huge Stay Puft Marshmallow Man on top and these big like ghostly tentacles and a Slimer out front. It was very, very cool, and I filmed in front of it. And the idea was I'm going to film this now, and this is going to be in the video for when we do the Ghostbusters timeline, and I'll time it up with the movie, which is coming out in summer 2020. And of course, that didn't happen. So when you finally see the Ghostbusters timeline, which will be apparently now this November, I guess, or August, I forget, that's coming out sometime in the next couple of months or something like that, you will see a Ghostbusters timeline, and it will have footage of me from about 2 years ago in it. So that should be pretty interesting in there. Let's see what other questions are up here. How about a Frank Henenlotter film's Dead Last? I do want to do that. I don't know. See, one of the criteria for doing a Dead Last is I've decided that it has to be 8 movies worth in order for it to be a full Dead Last episode. So whether it's a genre of something or a director's collection or a series, it has to be 8 episodes. I decided to make allowances for 7 episodes, or seven entries at one point. And I don't know if Frank has enough movies to qualify, but that's definitely something I would like to do because I love Henenlotter and his movies are so interesting. And I don't think that he's as well known as he should be. So I'd like to see more. I would see more of that. Nicholas Mackey asked if there's any plans to do a Dead Last director's list. Yeah, right. As I announced probably earlier in the show, we are doing a John Carpenter Dead Last is going to be the first of the director's Dead Last. I plan to do, there's definitely going to be a Cronenberg one at some point in the future. Definitely going to be a Don Coscarelli one in the future. I would love to do that. That's another one too, where it's kind of tough because he doesn't quite have enough movies, but I mean, who would have figured Don Coscarelli doesn't have that many movies that he directed? It's an interesting thing. I wish he had more movies because I love his stuff. So yeah, I definitely want to do that. Wes Craven movies will definitely be in there as well too. So would be kind of a lot of fun. I think dipping into a director's like lineup of movies is an interesting thing, especially when you see from beginning to ending there. So I kind of missed the thing, but thank you to said that they really like the co-hosts on Monster Brawl because they're one of the things that I really enjoy doing that I don't get to do too much on this channel is doing characters and doing voices. And obviously, for the most part, the channel doesn't allow me to do voices in a way. It doesn't allow me to do, doing like a Gregario voice. That's not something I get to do a whole lot. And as you're about to see next week, El Luchabuchi is a very different voice. And Freddie Michael Voorhees talked about making their first horror movie, and I would love to see it. That's one thing too. If any of you guys have made a low budget movie, backyard movie or whatever like that, I'd love to see those things. I'd love to see them. If you want to send them to me, please do. The email address is in my Gmail. I post it on every video now. If you have movies that you've made that are fun little backyard things, short films, whatever, send them to me. I will watch them. I will watch them and I will respond in an email and tell you what I thought of it and if I enjoyed them. So please send me that stuff. I think it's kind of fun. Rob Jones, what is the minimum number of movies for a franchise for Dead Last? It's probably 8. Like I said, I think I would make exceptions for 7 if depending upon what it is, but I think it's 8. KH asked if there is any timelines or anything that's had issues with copyright claims, and yeah, yes. Copyright claims is a big pain in the ass. It's a big pain in the butt. I get copyright claimed. Probably every 3rd video gets a copyright claim on it, which is ridiculous because what I do is very firmly in the realm of fair use. It's completely legal. What I do is legal. It does not violate anybody's copyright. Fair use is a ruling with copyright that basically just says that in terms of you can take somebody's work and you can add to it, expand to it, change it, alter it, and that as long as the finished product transforms the original in a dramatic way, then it counts as fair use. And what I do completely and totally changes the original content. Basically, if you want to watch, let's just say Jaws, and you go online and you're trying to look for Jaws. Watching my video is not a replacement for watching Jaws. So because of that, it falls into fair use. So, but I get slammed with them quite a bit. But I always dispute them constantly, and sometimes they put up a fight about it, and I have to appeal it. But it's become a thing. But I've gotten quite good at the mastery of navigating copyright claims. Have I ever gotten copyright claims on an Italian video? That one I have not. That's usually it's the big budget American movies. Like the Batman movies, I got crazy ones for that. The Saw movies have been very difficult. It makes me never want to do anything Saw related again because of the amount of copyright slams that they put on there. Every time I put up something Friday the 13th, I get a copyright thing, and I always dispute it. And within like 2 hours, they release it, which is cool. How the copyright thing works is these big budget studios, they have computer programs, and what they do is they scan the videos, and the video is just looking for footage that matches their footage. And if the computer program finds footage that matches theirs, it flags it and it'll put up a copyright content, right? So my stuff, when it gets its copyright claim, no one has looked at it. No person has looked at it and said, hey, this is it. So what I do is I then dispute it. Once you dispute it, it goes back to them and it says, hey, this person disputed it. Then an actual person looks at the video and they say, oh yeah, this is not copyright. And then they release the claim. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. And 9 times out of 10, that happens within 24 hours. So I get copyright claimed a lot. It usually doesn't amount to anything. But there's that 1 out of 10 where somebody will be like, yeah, we still think our copyright is valid. And then I have to appeal. It becomes a whole thing. So pain in the butt. Phantom Orchestra Production says Coscarelli is awesome. Don Coscarelli is awesome. I've met him 3 times now, and every time he's been super cordial and very, very cool. A little bit of insight. I've had some contact with him back and forth. I'm going to be approaching him to make an appearance, whether it just be a cameo or if he wants to actually sit in on the panel for the dead last of his movies. We'll see what happens. I think it'd be kind of fun if he did. We're going to see if we can make it happen, but I don't know if it'll happen. But I'm going to try, damn it. I'm going to try. But Billy asked about the thoughts on the movie, which I haven't seen probably since I was like 13 years old. I remember watching it I remember watching it and it's very enjoyable. But I haven't seen it in a long time. I think I need to rewatch it. So that'll definitely be one that I need to check out in the near future. So let me see. Will I do a comedy dead last? That is actually a very good question. Thank you, Sebastian Gomez Rodriguez. Right now, for the time being, dead last is going to be horror only. I don't know about the future. We'll see what happens in the future. It might go into that, especially because comedy, I think I'll probably dip into something like sci-fi genre first and everything. Comedy, I will tell you, for my channel, comedy seems to be the thing that does the poorest. People, whenever I do something comedy related, it does not do that well. Although Sarah just pointed out, what about horror comedies? I think horror comedies is probably a better chance. You might see that instead of doing like a straight up comedy dead last of, say, like American Pie movies. You probably won't see like an American Pie dead last for quite a while. I don't think that would be something that people would be very interested in watching. So we'll see what happens. But I definitely think that there's avenues for dead last to expand into that at some point there too. So. When am I going to do the timeline on Home Alone is a question. And I don't know. Again, same thing. It's a comedy. So the comedy timelines will I probably still will do comedy timelines. But there'll be things that just like it was like, I want to watch these movies. Like, I haven't seen these in a long time and I want to watch them. That's what it was with the Cheech and Chong one. I just had a hankering to watch Cheech and Chong movies and did. So you guys got a Cheech and Chong timeline out of it. So that's what happens, and that's how it will happen. So there we go. Brian Finlay asked, what movie have you changed your opinion on? That's a good question. You know what? Yes, I do have. I have an answer for this one because I just watched it. That opinion is John Carpenter's Vampires, which I saw in the movie theater a long ass time ago, and I thought was pretty cool. And I just rewatched it, and it sucks. I hated it. I hated it. My opinion didn't change on it drastically. It went from thinking it was like okay to thinking that it's terrible. One of John Carpenter's worst. So that's, I guess, one of the most recent ones I could think about changing my opinion on. Also, you know what? The original Prom Night. My memory of Prom Night was actually really, really good. And then when I rewatched it for my Prom Night timeline, I was just like, this is not as good as I remembered it. Like it's definitely like historically interesting and all that. And like I get it, but in terms of like 80s slashers, I think it's one of the lesser entries, and I had always had a bigger opinion of it from back then. So I don't know. What other questions do we have there? Mike Bell asked, any chance of an Evil Dead unanswered questions, which is a great question, and I have a great answer. And I will just say that this October is Evil Dead's 40th. Is it 40th anniversary? Is that what it is? I have it written down somewhere. Evil Dead came out in October of 81. So I'll just say keep your eyes out for October for some Evil Dead related stuff. That's some kind of fun stuff there. Elizabeth asked about Aliens and Predator Dead Last. That's another one that I want to do. Aliens and Predator movies together, and the AVP movies, because there's 12 of them. If you take them all together, there's 12 of them right now until that Hulu Predator movie, whatever happens. Yes, Aliens versus Predator Dead Last is coming. I don't know if it's going to be by the ending of this year, but I think it's going to be in this season of Dead Last. This season of Dead Last will be there. So look forward to that. And then Maz Wideful has asked about Student Bodies, which, yes, I have seen Student Bodies. I actually featured that on my list of horror comedies. And it is a great, a funny movie. I really like that movie with that big dude, Melbert. It's just, I don't know if it's just that I happen to really enjoyed that from like a nostalgia standpoint, but when I rewatched it again, I still laughed really hard. I hadn't seen it in a while, and on my rewatch, I was like, this holds up. I still think this is funny, so I was pretty happy about it. So if you haven't seen Student Bodies, one of the earliest horror spoofs, I'm sure it's not the first, but it's one of the first horror spoofs because it's like early 80s. Great stuff. Check it out. Let me see. Sleepaway Camp, in terms of being a great movie, is great. I did a timeline on that, which is a lot of fun. Is a Conjuring Dead Last on the horizon? I think when it gets up to enough movies, I think it needs like one or two more. But we'll see. I'm not the biggest Conjuring universe fan, so I tend to avoid things that are Conjuring related. But I do, and I enjoy some of them. But full disclosure, I hate the Warrens. As human beings, I cannot stand them. I think they are scam artists and flim-flammers, and they are basically petty criminals. They having these movies that prop them up as heroes. I have a real issue with that. Not that I don't understand that movies are not, documentaries and are not reality, and that these things are fake. And this and that. But it's the fact that they're criminals, like they're cheats and liars. So when you have these movies that prop them up as the good guys, I kind of have an issue with that. I mean, I have a problem with it. So because of that, I'm not that big of a fan of The Conjuring, but I'm sure there will be a dead last at some point in there. So let's see. Mr. Meathook asked about doing a timeline for the zombie Bloodbath trilogy. Yes, there will be. I'm definitely coming up the Mondays. There's going to be several Mondays in a row that are pretty much straight up how bad could it be episodes. There's a couple of like weird little franchises that I found that are really terrible, like the Meat Hook Massacre ones. There's this little 3-movie franchise called the Tooth Fairy that is like super low budget stuff that I'm gonna dip into. Some crazy stupid stuff, but there you go. And then also Mike Bell asked about after Monster Brawl, how about Slasher Brawl? And it's actually funny that you say that, because the original plans for the second tournament of Monster Brawl was going to be 32 human slashers. So all human slashers, like no supernatural, or I guess that could be slightly supernatural, because it was going to be like Jason from part 3, and like the original Michael Myers, and Billy from Black Christmas, like all like 32 of these like slashers up against each other. And I might still do it. I might still do it from a poll aspect. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing it like I did this one with the videos and afterwards, just because they don't seem to be that terribly popular. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I have so much fun doing the Monster Brawls that I might just do it for me, just for the heck of it. So we'll see. Thomas Schroeder asked about Maniac Cop coming soon, and I wish I could say that it was coming soon. I had it in my head that I was going to time it up with this release of the Netflix thing, and obviously that keeps on getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. I guess I want to stick to it and hold out and release it with that, but I don't know. But I would like to do Maniac Cop soon. I feel like it's one of the bigger franchises that I haven't covered yet. I get the requests I get that are huge are Maniac Cop and Ring. Those are the two current things that I get the most requests for. And I do have I will say that the Ring timeline is you will be seeing a Ring timeline before the ending of this year. I think that might be my big Halloween timeline this year. Every year for Halloween, I tend to do a big timeline, like something that people have been requesting a lot, like a very popular one. That might be, I can't say 100%, but that might be my big Halloween timeline this year. And then Maniac Cop will soon. I think it will be. I think it will be happening. Dan said Patrick Wilson is nice, though. Patrick Wilson he seems like a really cool dude, and he's a good actor. He's a good actor. He's not a great actor. I think he's a good actor. Oh my God, I can't remember. Vera Farmiga, she's also really enjoyable. I like her. I like all the people in The Conjuring. The movies are well made enough, but the movies themselves just, I don't know. I can't get past the content, but. So there you go. JJ Cards, thank you. Hello to the UK. I always like hearing when people from other countries. It's always really cool to me to be like seen by people in other countries. I think that's pretty neat. So thank you for chiming in there. A dead last for Final Girls would be a fun idea. That would be kind of cool. I would like to see that. Like I have a feeling that Ginny from Friday 2 would sweep that, though. That's my guess. I think that's my guess. No, I take it back. I'm sorry. It'd be Laurie. I guess Laurie is like the ultimate final girl. I think it's kind of hard to. But was she that great of a final girl, or did she just like last at the longest? Because I don't think she fought harder than some of the other. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Carl Sagan asked about the Dentist series with Corbin Burnson. Funny story about that. Because Christy worked with Corbin Burnson for a while. She actually did a movie with him. And I don't mind saying this, he's a jerk. He's a terrible person. So I might do a video on the Dentist and talk about him, I guess, a little bit. But he's not a nice guy. I went to the wrap party for that movie, and he was there, and I talked to him for a little bit, and just not a pleasant person. So I could say that. I think he's a decent actor. He's always I like seeing him pop up in things like it was in one of the Carnosaur movies and stuff like that. But man, talk about like losing your opinion on somebody after meeting them. That was a tough one. But there you go. And also to ask about Psycho Cop. I did do Psycho Cop. There is a mini timeline for Psycho Cop. It's I guess one of my more controversial episodes because of some of the stuff I say in it. So I will warn you that that is probably I guess one of the most political that I get. But there you go. Just Jimmy asked, "What's my opinion of the Omen franchise?" And the Omen franchise is fun. It's a pretty cool. It's a pretty cool franchise. I mean, the timeline on I'll always have a special appreciation for my timeline on the Omen series because Stella's in it, and I like any of the videos that have Stella in it. But the Omen movies were fun from a timeline standpoint because it's one of the most whacked out timelines that I've ever had to deal with. It's so much fun and crazy. So that and the Omen movie is pretty cool. I enjoyed most of them, and there will be a Omen. We're going to be doing an Omen in a Dead Last episode in a special way in the near future. So I'm looking forward to that. So Rob Jones wanted to ask what I thought about the Rob Zombie's Monsters movies announced, and I can't think of anything that interests me less than Rob Zombie's take on the Munsters. I like the whole point of the Munsters is that they're a typical American family. They're just monsters, but they're a typical American family, and they integrate in there, and they're supposed to be just normal people, except they just look different. Rob Zombie doesn't understand normal people. None of his videos are about normal people. They're all about like white trash outcasts. And the Munster isn't about outcasts. It's about them being treated like outcasts, but they're not. That's the point of what the Munsters is all about. Not looking forward to that. I will boycott that movie. I will just not watch it, I guess. I don't know. AJ, thank you. You talked about doing the Anaconda series. I have not done it. I plan on doing a back-to-back Lake Placid video and an Anaconda video right after it back-to-back. I had it actually slated for this summer, but I bumped it because I some other stuff came up that I was just like, oh God, I want to talk about this instead. So, but it is coming because I think it's gonna be a fun video, and I want it to kind of be, I guess, specialized. I want it to be a special video, so I think it'll be a lot of fun. I do want to talk about both Lake Placid and Anaconda, so we'll see. I don't know. What other questions do we have here? Let's see. Blah blah blah. Who would win in a fight? Gregorio Poplodowski or Chuck Wamper? I guess. Man, I would think Chuck is really like hyped up, man. Chuck is like always, he's on nines. But I mean, I guess like if it was about smooth talking, Gregorio is like the smoothest talking man on the planet. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Just Jimmy met Alice Cooper several times. That's kind of cool. Alice Cooper also, he seems like he would just be a really great down to earth kind of guy. Every interview I've seen with him, he's been like super pleasant and chill. I mean, it's very clear that like his stage persona is a persona. Like, I mean, it's not who he is, but I don't know. I've met obviously doing what I do and with what Christy does and everything. I've met a bunch of people in the film industry, and some people end up being really pleasant, and some people are not. Caroline Williams, who is Stretch from Texas Chainsaw 2, got to hang out with her for the better part of a day, and me and her and Stella hung out in the backstage area while they were filming Psycho Granny. And Caroline Williams was super, super nice. Stella really liked her, and they hung out for a while. She's a really nice lady. Robin Riker also was in Psycho Granny, and Robin Riker appeared in the Alligator timeline for me, and was probably one of the nicest people I will ever meet in my entire life. Just genuine sweetheart. Bruce, another guy I can say nothing terrible about is Bruce Campbell. Fantastic man. Always really pleasant, really great to be around. I met him 20 years ago. Christy actually just worked with him on a TV pilot. And she said he was just like a regular guy, just talking to people, being pleasant, and just being a good dude. So, nothing bad to say about Bruce. What a good dude. So, what else we got in here? When will I direct my next feature film? You know what? It's always a tough thing. The time to do that is just a really tough thing to do. I do have plans to do something in the near future. I just need to get a little bit motivated to get started. I've probably got a little bit too many hands in the fire right now to get going, but I got to do something. I want to start filming now. And yes, Jack of All Trades with Bruce Campbell was a fun, silly show. Bruce Campbell was in some weird little TV shows back in the day, so it's kind of fun there. But I'm going to wrap this up in about 2 or 3 minutes. I just want to kind of come on real quick and make sure everybody knows about the Dead Last deadline, which is tomorrow. And also just kind of take a break. I've been working on a new video all morning long, and my eyes started to cross, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to talk to human beings, or at least talk to a screen and chat with them, one of the two. So it's always really nice to be able to talk. But yeah, I mean, my day is pretty chill right now because Stella is at school, and I just work on the videos all morning long. So it's just a lot of staring at a screen, which sometimes can be a little bit tough to just stare here. In terms of guest stars, I do have some fun guest stars coming up. Like I said, with the Dead Last season finale, there is currently over 20 people that are slated to appear on that panel. I've got a lot of the patrons coming up, and then some special guests. Pretty much a lot of people that have always appeared on the last episodes are all going to appear, so it should be a lot of fun. But, well, thank you guys for coming on and chit-chatting with me. I appreciate it. And if you haven't sent me your rankings for the season finale of Dead Last, still have time. Tomorrow is the deadline. 12 movies. A lot of people have already seen before. So send them on in. And then, like I said, shoot me an email at the movietimelinesguy@gmail.com. I want to see who sends me some backyard movies that you made. I worked on a movie, a really, really low budget one that I've been sitting on. I did not make it. I just edited it for a guy, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And I haven't talked about it too much, but I'll have to bring it up in the near future. But I don't want to put him on super blast. But yeah. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.